A very warm welcome to the Zest for Health community project, Healthier Together. This is week 2 out of 6. My name is Christelle Page. I'm a registered nutritionist, and I'm here to help and support you to rediscover your zest for life, have you feel happier, healthier, and more energetic. So first, a quick reminder on the objectives of this project. We want to help you to improve your health at home, increase your energy, have you feeling good, and maybe if you want to lose a few pounds. And all that in under 15 minutes each week. Week 2 this week, we're going to cover 3 various sections as usual. The first one is Eat for Health, and we're going to see why food variety is actually the spice for life, and 4 reasons why it is good to eat more plants. So I know that there's a lot of conflicting advice about the best way to eat, but one thing that almost everyone is going to agree on is that eating more plants is actually good for you. Next section is Habits for Health, 10 ways to get more plants into your diet. And actually, you don't have to go vegan to eat more plants. We can actually expand the definition of what plants mean. It's not just fruits and vegetables. So your nuts, seeds, pulses, grains, herbs, and spices are going to all count as plants because they come from plants too. We know that eating more plants has lots of benefits, but there's also plenty of room for variety based on what you like and what you can afford. The last section is Cook for Health, and I'm going to share with you 2 delicious family-friendly dinner recipes with lots of veggies in them. So no doubt that you've heard that variety is the spice of life. And actually, it's more than a saying, because research has shown that those who have the most variety within their key food groups have actually better health and well-being outcomes, as well as living longer. But I want just to reassure you that nobody is actually going to force you to eat foods that you don't like, because there's a huge scope now for food choices and plant food choices. So plant foods are a great source of lots of beneficial nutrients, including your vitamins, your minerals, your fiber, your polyphenols, which are the active molecules that help to feed you gut bacteria, which is also referred as the microbiome, and benefit your health in many other ways. And plants are also a great source of antioxidants. And I should have added as well that they can be a great source of protein as well. So how does eating more plants actually affect your health? So, well, it's difficult to determine the cause and effect when it comes to food and disease. But what we do know is that people with plants in their diet or more plants in their diet tend to have a lower risk of a number of diseases, such as, for instance, high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. And people who also eat a heavily plant-based diet have shown a lower risk of death due to heart disease compared to those with sugar and processed foods. So if you need more reasons to eat more plants, so here are some. So first, plants are anti-inflammatory foods. So we know that inflammation is now tied to nearly every chronic disease out there. So from digestive issues to arthritis, cancer, and heart disease, for instance. And when you think about anti-inflammatory food, I want you to think about lots of colors and the rainbow. And you've probably actually heard about the saying, eating the rainbow. Each time you eat a different fruits or different vegetables and different colors, you're going to have different antioxidants, different phytonutrients, different vitamins, and different minerals as well. So studies have shown that diets that are high in anti-inflammatory foods can help you to live for longer, but also regulate your immune system and impact the way inflammation actually affects your body and your life. So plant food can help you to have better gut health, which in turn also support your immune system function and help you to reduce autoimmune reaction that can cause a cascade of age-related diseases. Second reason to eat more plants is that they are high in fiber. So your vegetables, seeds, grains, legumes, or even your fruits are really high fiber foods, and they're going to help actually to lower your risk of constipation, your digestive issues. They can lower your cholesterol and your risk of heart disease and diabetes. And the great thing about fiber as well is just that it helps to prevent cravings and overeating. And concerning gut health, it will just also help healthy probiotic or beneficial bacteria to thrive in your gut. So here are some examples of the top high fiber plants to include in your diet. It's not an exhaustive list, so those include avocado, apple, and oats. They're all great, but you could have also included in there berries, cabbage, artichokes, or dates. So it's a long list of fruits and vegetables that could be included here. Back to the list, so good for the waistline. So eating more plants actually can help you to lose weight or even maintain a healthy weight, and lowers your risk for chronic diseases. So there's a study that's really famous. It's called the Lion Diet Heart Study. Has found that a Mediterranean style, mostly plant-based diet actually could cut heart attack and death rates due to heart disease by 70% compared to the traditional Western diet. So that's the highly processed food diet. So how much vegetables should you eat now? Well, as nutrition practitioners, we're going to say as much as you can, and you already know about your 5 a day. But the general advice is to eat 7 a day to stay healthy for longer, and 2 of those should be fruits. Portion is about 80 grams, which is the equivalent of 3 heaped tablespoons of spinach or peas. And frozen and tinned counts too. So you don't always have to worry about having your fruits and vegetables to be fresh. It's absolutely fine to have them frozen and tinned. 10 ways to get more plants into your diet. So increasing the variety and amount of plants in your diet doesn't have to be difficult, actually, especially once you expand your idea of what counts as a plant-based food. So, for instance, as we said, nuts, spices, the herbs are all going to count. So maybe as we go through that list, you can make a note of any of those ways that actually connect with you and that could work for you. So the first one is to bulk up your meals with beans. So you can bulk up your meals with beans to make them go further, and they're great for budgeting as well. So for instance, you could switch half or all of your meats that you normally use to prepare meals like stews or curries or bolognese with plant-based proteins such as mixed beans, lentils, or chickpeas, because usually they are cheaper as well than fish and meat. And if you add tinned tomatoes, herbs, and spices for extra flavor and diversity, that bumps up your count as well. Have you ever tried Meat-Free Mondays? So it's a really popular initiative, and it's a great way to prioritize plant-based food at least once a week. If you're stuck for ideas, there are lots and lots of great plant-based bloggers out there that will give you some ideas and recipes for Meat-Free Monday. So what about fruit for dessert? So fruit is a delicious dessert, and it doesn't have to be boring. So different way of cooking actually is going to make it a bit less boring. You could just poach, for instance, your pears, bake your apples, griddle your peach, or simply chop all kinds of fruits and then top them with nuts, seeds, and spices to make things really interesting. By planning ahead, so cook up some extra roasted veggies, vegetable-based stews at the weekend, and pop them in the fridge or freezer. And then you've got that to use throughout the week. So even if I know that chopping actually takes a bit of time, cooking in bulk can save you both time and money. And make sure as well that you have some options ready to go whenever you need them during the week. Frozen is your friend. So frozen fruits and vegetables are just as nutritious and sometimes even better, because they are frozen within hours of being picked. And concerning cans, fruits, vegetables, lentils, beans, they are also great options because they have longer shelf lives, and they're always handy to have in your cupboard to whip up a meal really quickly, especially in those days actually that we can't go to the supermarket really easily. It's great to have a supply of frozen fruits and vegetables or tinned fruits and vegetables in your cupboard or freezer. Mix it up. So the key to a healthy way of having more plant-based diet is actually diversity, and not just eating the same few vegetables on repeat. You know, your carrots, tomatoes, peas, and cucumber, those are the usual suspect that you will have on repeat. So you could try to include one new fruit or vegetable in your diet each week, for instance, and maybe more on that with challenge later on. No excuses for boring salads. So forget to tasteless iceberg or watery tomatoes and think about how to include all the colors of the rainbow in your salad. So generally, more colors means more of those healthy polyphenols in your salad. So you can also incorporate texture and crunch with toasted nuts and seeds, and experiment with different ways of preparing your vegetables, such as, for instance, spiralizing or grating. So spiralizing courgette is great, grating carrots, and also using fresh herbs for extra flavor. Hidden greens. So that's a great thing about the green leafy vegetables, such as your kale, your spinach, and your cabbage, is that actually you can find them really fine. You can chop them very finely and fold them into cooked dish. So, for instance, you can have them in stews, curries, and bolognese, and they will usually wilt down to almost nothing and push up your plant power of your dish within a flash, without being too obvious, because, you know, for you fussy eaters and so on, actually, you picky eaters, so you picky kids, picky adults that are not keen on greens, usually they will go unnoticed. And did you know as well that you could just put kale and spinach in your smoothies and blend everything together? So that's a great way just to bump up your content there. Make the most of dips and spreads. So there's a world of possibilities when it comes to making bean-based dips and spread. And it's not just hummus. Actually, they are really easy and cheap to make at home. And you can use them as creamy spread or quick addition to salad, or even a dip for chopped vegetable sticks, or even a substitute for mayo, actually. Half and half. So instead of cooking just your regular helping of potatoes or even rice, maybe you could increase your diversity by switching out half of them for other root vegetables, such as, for instance, sweet potatoes, butternut squash, cereals, and carrots. So, for instance, for your rice, you could just have half of your cauliflower rice and half rice mix. You can just roast, crush, or mash together two different root vegetables, and that's absolutely delicious as well. So we have some super easy recipes to put that into practice this week. So the first one is a super quick veggie chili. And actually, I've counted that you could have up to 13 plant-based foods in one meal with this recipe. So for instance, your red onion, chili, pepper, garlic, butternut squash, cumin, tomatoes, mixed beans, so that could be up to 3 beans, green lentils, coriander, and avocado would just really bump up your veggies in one meal. And the next recipe is a summer chicken trebek. So it's lovely and brightly colored. You can basically chuck everything together into a roasting tin and pop into the oven as well. So can you spice up your variety? How varied is your diet? How many different types of food do you eat in a week? Well, it's quite interesting because in Japan, the advice that was issued back in the 80s was that it was recommended that they were eating 30 different foods in a day, not a week, 30 different foods in a day. So we know that if you can get your count up to 50 per week, you are doing very, very well. And if you'd like to see how varied your diet is, then you could try our 50 food challenge. So we've been testing this actually with our family and clients, and we had some great feedback. Actually, families are getting really competitive by filling up what I'm going to show you next. We find that most people in the first few days find it really easy, but by the end of the week, actually, they are encouraged to try different vegetables or add the different spice to their meals to ensure that they reach their 50 foods. So we have created a handy recording sheet for you to stick to your fridge and fill in. So give it a go this week and get the family involved. We'd love to hear how the challenges go, and let us know how you get on. So this is the worksheet that we have created for you. We're going to attach it as well to this recording. Other useful resources, I've created for you a list of the rainbow foods and a tally chart as well. And also the Institute for Functional Medicine has published a phytonutrient spectrum that just shows you every different colors of fruits and veg have different benefits. So next week, same place, same time, we're going to discuss what is a healthy breakfast, give you some healthier breakfast swaps, and also easy breakfast ideas. So I hope that you have all a really healthy and varied food week. You have my contact details here if you have any question. Good luck with the challenge. Let me know how you get on, and see you next week.